Hi, this is IK. Welcome to React rendering explanation third time. Explanation third time. This is was confused in my head. Why we have three alerts, one by one behind another, continuously. Nothing in console between. Nothing in console between. I thinking from yesterday, and only what I think it is that I don't understand rendering, because when I click alert OK, must happen because it is a use effect inside. Must happen re-render it, and in that re-render it of BPML, I will see empty array. But no. After alert blog post menu, I must see re-rendering, and re-rendering means to see a blog post menu full of array. No. And in the end, alert app.js finished, I must see app.js finished. But no, when I click OK app, I see BPML empty, BPML BPM full, app full, and I see BPML empty. And after that, we have one alert more, and I see BPML full. But at first here, why I have three alerts one by one? Look at in experiment. Here it is. No. Yeah, here it is. Artificialists help me. But I was suspicious of that. Here is refresh. Refresh. And look at it. Blog post menu left finished. And it means we go in use effect, and it is a first statement in use effect. But after that, we will have re-rendering, and it would be empty because app.js not rendering, not contact mock server. And we will see re-rendering, we will see blog post menu left JS6 empty array. But no, you look at, we only see initial rendering. Here it is. We only see initial rendering, app.js empty array, blog post menu left empty array, blog post menu JS empty array. But now, when we start use effect re-rendering, and it is a start from blog post menu left, as we see that happened earlier. When I said OK, in that alert, process must at first be re-rendering of the blog post menu left. But no, it not happening, because if happened re-rendering blog post menu left, I will see blog post menu left JS6, row 6, empty array. But I don't see that. From this alert, we have jump to next alert. We jump, we skip complete re-rendering. Complete re-rendering. Look at, okay? And now blog post menu finished rendering. It is jump to component blog post menu in use effect and read statement alert blog post menu finished rendering. And nothing here in console. And when I click now OK, I will see app.js finished rendering. I don't see a re-rendering of blog post menu because use effect have or contact mock server or create oven ordered list from post from parents. And no, now I click OK, I will see app.js alert, but nothing nothing here. After blog post menu finished rendering, I see alert app finished rendering. Okay, here it is, app.js finished rendering, but nothing here in console. Nothing between that alert. And I was confused, but because my experience in React, I have maybe 200 because it is my second playlist about React. First was in Croatian, also in YouTube channel. And I was suspicious that it is connected with the app parent and re-rendering together, one by one, but together, not between alert, but waiting that app finished rendering. And now in that moment when app finished rendering, we rendered the blog post menu left at first and the blog post menu. And after that, what we need, okay, about that again, but this moment is important that alert, waiting that when I now click OK, I will see all what is happening from first blog alert blog post menu left. I will see all what happened after first blog post menu left. And what is it? It is at first rendering blog post menu left, and I will see 0. After that, blog post menu, and I will see full list. After that, app. After that, rendering app.js rendering, and I will see blog post menu left empty. Why empty? Because when app finished rendering alert, we have re-rendered, and it means app re-rendered, and it means that re-rendered up, it means to show console. It is up 11. It would be full. And after that, go and start rendering blog post menu left, like initial time. It is third time, and it is when up rendered, it rendered the child, but we will see, not all. Rendered blog post menu left without use effect. Without use effect. It is again initial, because blog post menu left use effect before that. And now app.js rendering means again rendered blog post menu, and it is connected with dependent about post, but post not changed from before, but it means that app start rendering blog post menu left again like initial value. And because of that, we will see 0, because we don't see post in console. We control console log sorted post. Sorted post. And the sorted post exists only after use effect. Because of that, I know that we go without use effect, that we go rendered blog post menu left like initial rendering without use effect, and we see 0. Even we see app.js full, it is post and it exists. That post exists also in a child, but now we have initial rendering again, and in that initial rendering, I look at in sorted product of use effect, but use effect not called. And because of that, we see blog post menu left empty. Empty sorted list. But immediately after that, because calling use effect after an initial component did mount event call use effect, and calling use effect existing post, we have a full list of full array of blog post menu left. Why? When it happened initial rendering of blog post menu left, why we have not again initial rendering of, no, we have not, because blog post menu finished rendering and show result on screen. Show result. Look at now when I click okay, look at first. Look at right. Look at here. Can stay that here. When I click OK, we will see on the screen full array of blog post menu. Click. Look at blog post menu left is visible. It is finished, and because of that, don't need again initial rendering. Here it is. But get back to right side what happened in console. After these three, we have alert, alert, alert. After alert of block app.js finished rendered, click. We have now blog post menu left re-rendering. It is because of use effect in blog post menu left. When only see alert, but not re-render. It means like saving result of use effect, but saving re-rendering that happened now in one continuous order of re-rendering. Re-rendered blog post menu left, result empty array. Blog post menu, it is re-rendering blog post menu because we have alert blog post menu left. And after that, no rendering, but now rendering. After app.js finished rendering. And blog post menu full because in use effect contact mock server. Contact mock server separately don't depend about parents app state. And after that, we have app.js 11 also full empty because it is use effect of app.js finished. And it is position console in re-rendering. We see console and console on top of the code, but we go down, re-rendering go down, don't touch use effect because use effect start this re-rendering, it was, and go down until blog post menu left. Blog post menu left, we see in that moment have initial re-rendering. Initial, again, rendering like initial rendering. And of course, don't call use effect. We have, we look at blog post, we look at ordered post, we look at state, what result of use effect, but because don't call use effect, because it go like initial rendering, because of rendering of app.js parent component, we have zero empty array, even post exist. Before of that, we have that app.js have full, here is a full list, full array. But here is empty because we don't look at post, but we look at sorted post. It is result use effect, and it is, we know by this that it is like initial, that it is rendering without use effect. But after initial rendering, now component call use effect. Component did happen, did mounted, and call use effect. And in that call use effect, again, alert is first, blog post menu left finished rendering. That alert is means that we know that call use effect after initial. And when I said OK, when I click OK, I see full list, full array in blog post menu left, because activate trigger use effect, because of triggering use effect. Product of use effect is console full array of sorted, not post. If I look at post, I will have a full list of post because app.js parent have full list here. But we look at not full post, but we look at the console log sorted, what is product of use effect. And we know that this rendering was because app.js rendering, and it was a third time for blog post menu left. It means first time initial rendering, second time use effect, and the third time was again initial. And now when I said okay alert, I will see full array here. It is ordered, sorted, ordered list. Look at here it is in blog post menu left, blog post menu left, blog post menu left. You see, this is trigger rendering and re-rendering, and here, look at, I look console log sorted post. If I look at posts, and not, I would have, okay, refresh, and here is a first alert, and here is in console, because of rendering, initial rendering 3 components. It is a state, empty array. But now 3 alert one by one. 1, 2, and apps finish rendering. After app finished rendering, I have a blog post, look at here, blog post menu left is full because app is full. It is post. But again, it is initial rendering, and we see post because we don't need for post use effect. We use post state coming from parent app, and parent app is full. Parent app is full array, and the blog post menu left in initial is full. Don't need use effect, but after initial, component did mount call, that event call use effect, and in use effect, we have again a full list of posts. It is nothing new. But if I activate this, you will see that differences. Again, I refresh. I get refresh. First alert. Here in console. Now I have 2 console for blog post menu left. It is row 6 and row 7, and both is empty. After this, nothing. After this, nothing. And after app finished, we have again blog post menu left, nothing. because app, not full list. And block post menu, full list, full array, it's okay. And app, full array. And because of that, posts, block post menu left post is full of array. But here in 7 row, empty. Sorted post not is empty because not happen use effect. And now when I click block post menu left, it is alert. It is start for use effect when I said, okay, process go ahead, and we see full post and full list of full array of sorted, full array of sorted. I think I don't know how you and how my expression, that third expression is for you, understandable, but I'm satisfied. And here we have one example how artificial intelligence helped me in productivity. Before artificial intelligence, I go in Stack Overflow. Maybe I would go in Stack Overflow, make a question. That Stack Overflow, there is some exclamation to me that I cannot give a question because some years ago I did something I don't understand what, never mind, but no problem that I help others, that I give answers. I can give answer, but I can, and I spoke you that you know how complicated would be have contact with someone who can help you. And that helping from Stack Overflow sometimes was excellent, sometimes was bad. And but here, when I ask artificial intelligence, now you will see, and show code, artificial intelligence respond me before I before before that artificial before I finished almost same moment when I press enter. Unbelievable what means computer power, what means all in computer and in the internet is velocity like sunshine. It is maximum velocity in technology, and same moment I have response, and we can go there. I can change zoom, color, size of color. At first, look at here also for repeating. When we have initial rendering, app, BPML, BPM. It is initial rendering. Empty. Array was empty in all three because there is no use effect, there is no contact with the mock server. And after initial rendering, we have use effect. Every component have use effect, and every component after initial rendering, component did mount that event, call use effect. But not again up. Initial rendering starting with up, because it is in index.js, I rooted by root. But when coming time for use effect, first use effect is component menu left. blog post menu left, because child must finish rendering before parents. And we have alert that blog post menu left finished rendering. It means use effect is called. But when I said OK, when I click OK, immediately I see alert blog post menu finished rendering. Click OK, immediately alert app.js finished rendering. I didn't see rendering after every alert. And after all three alert, I click OK, I see continuous of console log, continuous, and of course, BPML use effect first re-render it. BPM second use effect full list, because in use effect contact mock server. App use effect full list, because contact mock server. And after that, BPML empty list, because I don't watch posts state of parents, but I watch in console log sorted list, sorted post. That sorted post result of use effect. It means that BPML after full app start initial rendering. It is third time. BPML have initial rendering, have use effect, but now again initial rendering, because app rendered. And app must complete rendering, and there is a child, BPML. Why? And that BPML initial rendering, but why don't initial rendering BPM? No, because finished job. It is finished job, and we see on the screen BPML, BPM. We see result on the screen, it is finished, and there is no, again, initial rendering. BPML, initial rendering, empty, and after that, component did mount call. Component did mount call use effect of BPML. And now, in use effect, create sorted list and set sorted list activate, and it is set sorted list activate rendering, and we see result of that rendering full array. And I ask artificial intelligence why I don't see in console result of re-rendered after use effect, after alert. After every alert, I must see re-render and result in console. And I was suspicious that it is something saving in resource, something not waste resource, and something like, okay, parents must in one rendering rendered all that component. And it is my suspicious was right, and I ask artificial intelligence one more. I ask why it is here. My question is here. Why there are three alerts, one behind the other, and after that we see rendering. Why we don't see rendering after every alert? This is console. This is console. And I copy console, what I see on console, and I After that, give copy index every what we need for understanding, for response. What I always show you about we spoke. I show you that code. It is at first it is I copy index.js, index.js, index.js. I copy this because of root, and when application start, root object dot render method of that root object. In parameter we have a browser router object, React element inside routers and inside root. And root of app, we see that in index we will see blog post menu, but when we look at in app, I copy that. I copy app.js that here is a visible outlet, and hard embed blog post menu left. And the blog post menu we will see through outlet in indexing homepage. App.js I copy. After that I copy blog post menu left that artificial C console. What I look at post here. I don't look at sorted post in that time. And in use effect, first statement is alert. Why I use alert here? Because when we go in use effect, it is after initial rendering and after event component did mount, and it is finished process. And I said that finished, but of course, if would be some error, would not be finished, but I would have error. But if all would be okay, it is really go to finished. And use effect, blog post menu left, it is blog post, and blog post menu, I look at post. Blog post menu left, what I look? I see, don't look, I look at here, this. Sorted post, look at sorted post. I don't see post. I don't follow post. I follow sorted post. And sorted post only coming from this moment, from use effect. And if there is a no sort post, but we have up post, it means that it is like initial rendering without use effect, with skip use effect, and after that use effect. Okay, it is it is blog post menu left and blog post menu. I follow post. Blog post menu we have from outside, from mock server, separately. And app.js also, we follow app.js. We follow in console, app finished in console, we follow console log post. In two components follow post, and in blog post menu left follow sorted post. It is excellent that I follow sorted post because of that I see that that must be initial rendering. But I was wrong in explanation before this. In what I was wrong. I didn't, I was wrong when I said, let's go here. Let's go in here. I was wrong when I said that after app full, it is asynchronous process, but BPML rendered in synchronized process get first, then data coming by asynchronous process. And because we have in BPML here, empty array. I said it, but I have some problem in about that. I was not satisfied, but said that, and I like that I said the first explanation, second explanation, and third explanation, because I learn. I learn. I'm not your teacher who know something and explain you. No, it is all first time for me, first explanation for me, first learning, first, and you can see how I learn, but, and it is a slow process. I never learn anything what I know before. I always learn, I always teach parallel with the learning. Why? Because I'm teacher of technology, and technology always you get new, and I cannot know and teach because I start teach, and all what I teach what was new, always new. I teach people from 90, from first, it means 30 years, web development. And I always knew in that. Like now, I learn new web development, React front end, library, JavaScript, and I learned that. I cannot I cannot know it because every 6 months we have new version. It is not revolution, but sometimes yes. Like for example, router 6 is excellent news, and we have that outlet in that routers, and Redux. Redux is phenomenal in last version, Redux toolkit, etc. Okay, but come back. Wrong. Last explanation was wrong in part where I spoke about asynchronous process and synchronous process. They go parallel, and BPML here is empty array because happen first, then up a full list. But it is nonsense because up full list is here visible. It is before this. And I will not see it that I follow posts, that I follow post. When I follow post here, after full listing up, here is a full list also. But why again here we have rendering? That is because it is initial rendering, and this is use effect. And this is use effect. Okay, let's go back to artificial. It means that I ask question, copy console, and copy app.js, index, here it is, index.js. Okay, blog post menu left, blog post menu for component here I copy. And when I start enter immediately, start response. Immediately. Sometimes I thinking to say artificial intelligence that don't hurry, thinking a little, don't hurry with answer, because my question is very hard for me. How explain it? I was suspicious, but I explained with late, but it is not, and I forgot what I follow, that I follow sorted, not follow post. Okay. Uh, response means, response is in the code you provided, the multiple alerts appearing one after another before rendering add you to the way, before rendering add you to the way, React's rendering and state updates work before. Let's break down the sequence of events. It is very, very boring, and I must say that it is not understandable, little confused, but what is understandable is a conclusion of artificial intelligence. As for your question about why rendering doesn't occur after every alert, that's how React rendering works. React tries to batch updates. React tries to batch updates. Excellent. It is it. Not one by one, but in a batch. Re-render it in a batch. For performance reason. For performance reason. It groups multiple state updates. It groups multiple state updates and re-renders into single render cycle to optimize performance by minimizing the number of DOM manipulation. This can sometimes lead to what appears to be delayed rendering. Excellent. Delayed rendering. We said delayed rendering now in this example. Delayed rendering because of performance, optimized performance. Optimized performance. This can sometimes lead to what appears to be delayed rendering. If you want to see rendering after every alert, you might need to separate the alerts and the rendering logic more explicitly. However, do keep in mind that frequent rendering might lead to performance issue. Excellent. Applause for artificial intelligence. Applause. I don't know for that. I don't know, but it is normal that I don't know because I don't go in example like this and in problematic like this. I can skip this complete question about rendering. And I have finished application. I have a lot of speaking about that, but I must not go in this re-rendering. But and I know how I teach. I cannot explain how I teach. I know in layout in some topic, but what details get my attention more, or what I jump, what I skip of details, conscious or unconscious. It is very, very difficult to me to say. And because of that, is my playlist is interesting for me for future, or if I would write book about React, I will, and more time pass, I must look at in React this video to remember me. And all what you learn, it is very good to have descriptions, explanation, writing. It is something like documentation of learning. Create all what I create. I have books. When I write books, it is my documentation where I would look at. If this YouTube channel is something where I look at, and you must write explanation, write in your notice, but detail, understandable, right? Because a lot of things coming new, and there is no chance to work in the same job in programming. You can work React, but React have a new version every 6 times, and all dependency, all environment, all have a new version every 6 months. In the future, maybe 1 month, a new version. And always you learn, and when some older application we must intervene, you will not know what happened if you have not a documentation. Your documentation is your notice and your explanations, and practically you must write book. You must write book for yourself. It is same like you must explain, voicey, or by you channel, open YouTube channel, open and describe, because YouTube channel, somebody learn from you, learn from your learning, and can comment, can correct you, because of that, I like to said something before, even if I'm not 100%, because we have continued continuous video, continuous learning, continuous working, and always somebody can see my, it is public, it is in video, in YouTube, and somebody can say, wait a moment, here something not clear for me, and I think it is like this, and help me. I would say, yes, I don't sure in it. I thinking it is something wrong in my explanation. I don't like that part of explanation, etc., etc., etc. And it is a group learning. It is public learning. What all of us have possibility today. Important, write or record your documentation of learning, your documentation of create application. When anything what you work, you create a journal, diary about that, journal about that, because it is only way to know in the future what happened in your application, in your code. Uh, I have a book about all what I work. I program all for my company, and a lot of use from first day. I use Access, for example. Before that, I use all about WordPerfect. WordPerfect Data Perfect was a relation database in which I program financial program for our financial part and financial part, but with Access, Microsoft Access, I created a complete application for management, school management. It is all about student invoices, etc., and grading level, etc. And I write a book about that. That book was public selling. That book is in Croatian language, and it is free now on the internet. And when I have new version of Access, but it would very often in beginning, I look at in book and correct my application for a new version of Access. And always like that. But I must go to my book and correct that part without problems. And it must be your practice. There is no other way. You must write diary, journal, as you won't call it, documentation of learning. Must write detailed explanation, and every explanation, every moment of wow, Heureka, every that moment is value for right. Value for right, because it is big moment for us, and don't write it. And don't write it, and don't remember. Okay, in this process, we maximum concentration. Where is important point? Important point is that alert, one behind. Important point is that child component must be first rendered, then parent component. Important is now what we learn. Alert didn't follow with the re-rendering because React save resources. React create bench of re-rendering. A bench of re-rendering. And it is very interesting to understand complete that process with console and with alert console, and we see how rendering go one after another. Child first rendered, render initial rendered. After initial, we have every component have component did mount, and that's it. And understand it, really understand. If you have suspicious of something, you must resolve that. You must resolve that because cannot head with some hole in learning. Learning is like fundament for professional work, fundament for interview, and confidence. Fundament equal confidence. And confidence means excellent interview, excellent working career, etc. And the important thing is write or record every your step in creation of your application. Why something code like that, and why code work in that way as work. If you know somebody that need video like this one, send them, share in your channel about this video, and like, subscribe, community around this video will growing, and learning is more interesting when there is more people in group, in community around this video. Thank you for watching this video.